Previously on Ars Paradoxica.
My name is Sally Grissom, and I think I accidentally invented time travel.
We are rapidly approaching the town of Polvo, New Mexico.
And how long will I be kept there?
Win the war for us, and then we'll talk.
Chet Wickman, nice to see you again. I was there when you fell out of nowhere, and it turns out what I know, what I saw, meant that I had a need to do something else.
If you're looking for a good reason to change the future, you're plumb out of luck. It's already happened.
But the little eyes make getting through to what we need that much easier. I would have thought that 2 years living in Polvo would have left me jaded, that nothing could surprise me anymore. God, I'm still having trouble putting it all together in my head. I guess I should start from the beginning. One of the superconductive coils had cracked during a power cycling test. Roberts and Wyatt were both off-site for personal reasons, so I had signed Barlow over to my team for an extra set of hands. We were replacing the coil, and Barlow was... Damn it, I didn't do the intro thing, did I? I'm gonna start over. Diary of Sally Grissom, September 21st, 1945. I would have thought that 2 years of living in Polvo. So Donovan asks me, he says, electric guitars give me a headache. Don't you go deaf with all that racket? But it's not about preserving your hearing, man. It's about feeling the music. Hand me those pliers, would you?
Okay. Can you show me what you're doing here? Is this how you arrange the...
Yeah, just back up a little.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks. And so I tell him it's about letting it drown out your consciousness, letting your emotions out, letting that inner animal take hold of you, which he finds utterly ridiculous. I think he was almost offended. Self-control is a virtue, he says, to which we all must strive. Does that guy ever loosen his tie? I mean, come on. Hey, Barlow, do you remember what degree we set the drift response to? Barlow? Oh, wait, I got it. It's 53.7 degrees. How could I forget 8 times the square root of 45? Anyway, I know we're a science community and we're all dedicated to logic and knowledge, but everybody's got to let off some steam once in a while, right? Right? Barlow? Hey, are you okay? Ow! After my vision cleared, I called the medics, but Barlow was gone by the time they got there. More importantly, my team was down another member, the timepiece was still broken, and apparently it kills people now. That's cool. Was it something I did to the machine? I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I moved some spring that shot out at him or triggered some previously unknown death ray function. I don't know. Accidentally inventing things tends not to work out for me.
And you didn't see or hear anyone else come in?
No, sir. My head was under the timepiece.
So you didn't actually see the infliction of Quentin's mortal blow?
Didn't see the... What? No.
Why don't you tell me what you did see then?
I don't know. We were working on the prototype, and I looked up, and he was bleeding on the floor.
And how long had Quentin been working here with you?
Today was the first day. Roberts is in New York with her mother, and Wyatt is visiting a processing plant for one of the materials we need. I filed the paperwork 2 weeks ago. You must have seen it.
And of course, you didn't shoot him, right?
No, of course I wouldn't. Wait, shoot him?
Not even accidentally.
No, I... Shot him? We were in here troubleshooting. All the doors were sealed. We don't even have a gun in here. How could he have been shot?
That's all I'm trying to find out, Sally. So you tell me. You were there.
That's all there was. I turned to see him, and I hit my head, and I was out cold until I called the medics. Barlow was really shot. I thought he got hit by a part that flew off the machine or something.
Our coroner pulled a .45 round out of Quentin's chest. He tells me it was fired from your garden variety 1911.
A pistol? There was no one close enough to hit him but me. Hell, there was no one else in here but... Oh.
You see why I'm asking you all these questions?
I didn't shoot him. Come on, that's not funny. You know I didn't.
Then the only other explanation I can think of is a magic bullet.
Chet, tell me you know I didn't shoot him.
The body of one of our own is in the morgue, and I don't even know what to tell his wife.
Barlow was married?
Yeah. To June. For about 2 years.
Oh, I didn't know.
You've met them. A bunch of times. We've both been at parties with them together.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose we have.
Can you give me anything I can tell her?
Like what?
I don't know. A perfectly good explanation for all of this?
Perfectly good isn't how things work around here. You know that.
Then give me something else. Anything else.
I don't have anything to say. But I will find out what happened. Diary of Sally Grissom, Sunday, September 16th, 1945. I just got back from Quentin Barlow's funeral. It was... solemn's not really the right word. I mean, on the scale of social gatherings, funerals are the polar opposite of, say, soccer matches. But this one was... it just felt awkward. See, none of us really knew Barlow very well, at all. Not even Partridge had much to say about his own lab assistant.
I've worked with Quentin for the better part of a year now. He was a reserved man, quiet, but always dedicated. His record-keeping skills were fantastic, and I never once doubted his ability to do science. He struck me as a man who lived in his head a lot. I didn't know what he thought of what we were doing, but he kept doing it. So he must have believed in it.
Thank you, Dr. Partridge. Would anyone else like to speak?
I will. Quentin was a kind man. Always courteous, always just wanted to be out of everyone's way. I wish he had been more in the way. I wish I had seen him more.
That was lovely, Dr. Roberts. Thank you. Anyone else?
I was the last person to see Quentin alive. He was helping me in my lab. I didn't know him very well. He seemed nosy. While we were working that day, he was always over my shoulder. I guess that means he was a dedicated seeker of knowledge? I'm sorry. I found him off-putting and a little bit creepy. He was standing so close to me, I'm surprised I wasn't hit instead of him. I'm sorry for your loss, June.
Well, thank you for speaking from the heart, Dr. Grissom. I'm sure we all appreciate it. I believe Mrs. Barlow is ready now with a few words of her own. Mrs. Barlow.
It was a train wreck. I don't know what they wanted me to say. Maybe that I always valued the way Barlow never stole my lunch? Or that his death was especially interesting from a scientific perspective? Oh man. Was dying the most interesting thing Quentin Barlow ever did? That's dark. But I'm sure he had family or friends or something, right? Everyone's got a backstory. Everyone's a person. But all through the speech, June Barlow just glared at me with this seething, boiling, laser-focused anger. She stared through my soul. You know the feeling when you're at a party and you're trying to talk to someone about a miserly uncle over the din, when Smash Mouth abruptly stops blaring from the speakers and you're in the middle of saying a word that sounds like a particularly offensive slur out of context, and everyone stops what they're doing and turns to stare daggers at you, and anything you say past that point would only serve to make the situation worse, so you stand there dumbly, slack-jawed, terrified of saying anything more, and nobody said anything in the past 25 seconds, and the exit is at the other end of the room so there's no way to escape? That's the kind of stare it was. After the performance of my one-woman show, Sally Bombs at the Funeral, I slunk down into my seat among the rows of black-clad scientists. I thought my punishment from June Barlow was over, but as we filed out, I saw her near the houses and she stared daggers at me the entire time I passed. I got out of there as fast as I could and rushed home. I know June wasn't going to hurt me, but I might have hid in the corner of my bedroom enshrouded in blankets for an hour or so, just to be safe. You know what? I'm going to prove it. I'm going to figure out how he died so they can see it wasn't my fault. I just need to build something. Something to see what really happened. Dr. Sally Grissom, experiment log. Time is 2:57 a.m. on Thursday already. Damn. Thursday, September 20th, 1945. So this is the first trial of the Tachyon Activity Projector, the TAP. I made it from an array node, an oscilloscope, and a cathode ray tube I borrowed from another project. Well, I say borrowed. I wonder if they've noticed. I'll tell them, I don't know, I'll tell them it was for science. So what I have here is a system that scans for tachyon activity at a specific wavelength and amplifies that light and reproduces it on this display. In effect, it allows you to see into the past. At least, I think it does. I've spent the last 67 hours living in the realm of theory and then inhaling a whole lot of solder fumes, so it's time to put on my big scientist goggles and try this sucker out. I hope this works. I'd hate to end up back in Philadelphia. All right, still here, still in one piece, good signs. Picture coming into focus, and wow, there it is. I have it set to about 10 minutes ago. There's a surprisingly vivid image of me grabbing tools from the bench. Weird, but also amazingly cool. So this thing is location locked because it uses the timepiece's stabilization models. It took some highfalutin arithmetic to sync all this stuff with planetary motion, and I don't want to spend months with new calculations, so I just sort of plugged it right in. Literally. Point is, I can only see wherever the card is, and that's attached to the timepiece, because anchor field inhibitor arrays don't grow on trees. Okay, well, I'm convinced. TAP, total success. Now I've just got to get Wickman down here.
Wait a minute, Doc. So you're telling me you built a window through time out of a television?
The way I see it, if you're gonna look into the past, you might as well do it with some style. I had to crack open the timepiece and plug this thing in, so you might want to be careful. And hey, look at that, it's on.
This shows what's in front of us. But in the past?
7:27 a.m. That's when I came in this morning. You could see me opening the door right over there.
I would have been in my kitchen drinking coffee. This is going to change everything. About surveillance, about communication, everything.
Can you keep this under wraps? At least for a little while? Give me time to make sure this isn't too disastrous in the wrong hands. Or the right hands. Anyone's hands.
That's breaking about a half dozen regulations. You really need to stop asking me to sit on all of your secrets.
Well, you should stop being in a position to be secreted on.
Secreted on. Sally, that's disgusting.
Real funny, guy.
If this thing does what you're saying, then surveillance systems would be a distant memory. Who needs a live transmission when you can just watch the past happen?
Well, it routes tachyon responses through the timepiece, so you need to be within a cable length's distance. And besides, I'm not sure I'm okay with the government having eyes on everything that's ever happened after 1943.
I don't mind. I've got nothing to hide.
That's what they always say. No one's got anything to hide until Big Brother's got a time machine.
Big what now?
Jesus, you all haven't read 1984 yet? What are you, cave people?
I'm sorry, I feel like I've missed something.
There's just... If you see an author named Orwell next time you're in a bookstore, pick it up. And you think I'm prescient. You want to see what happened to Barlow or not?
I'm anxious to see your little gizmo work its magic.
And then you'll clear me for Barlow's death.
Doc, you never seriously thought you were on the hook for that, did you?
No, Wait, what now?
I knew you didn't kill Dr. Barlow when you told me so. Not dumb enough to tell a lie like that outright. And besides, if we really suspected you, I don't know if this conversation would be so friendly. Are you telling me you made all of this because you thought we suspected you of murder?
Well, maybe a little bit, a teeny bit. Stayed up 3 nights in a row. No big deal.
Just take me to the scene of the crime. And then you should get some sleep.
All right, I'm tuning to last Friday. What was the time, as best we know? I know it was late morning, but I wasn't checking my watch when Barlow hit the floor.
Based on your testimony, medical evidence, and our own investigation, we figure it happened around 11:34. Man, what'd I do to have a visual record of any place at any time? I thought closed-circuit TV was fancy. Does this thing do sound too?
Wickman, just getting a picture was hard enough. Dream a little smaller.
Hey, I'm just security. What do I know about your science doodads?
Okay, I'm starting after the event and going backwards. There's the paramedics rushing Barlow's body back to the lab, then putting him down and leaving. There's me calling them, telling them not to return. I'm screaming, then returning to work. The pool of blood sucks back into Barlow.
I get it, Doc. You're playing it backwards. Skip to the end.
Okay, here it is. Going forward a second at a time. Barlow's standing there. Barlow's standing there. He's falling to the ground.
I hope I don't have that look on my face when I die.
Don't get shot by a bullet coming out of nowhere.
I'll put that on the agenda. Can we get anything more precise?
I'll tick back 1/10 of a second at a time.
Wait, there. That's the bullet. Turn the card around. Where was it fired from?
It looks like thin air.
Keep going back.
And then it disappears.
How does that even happen?
I'm going to tune it as precisely as I can get with this prototype. We're getting into microseconds. It's there, then it isn't. There, not there.
But where did it come from? I don't believe the bullets just materialized out of thin air. Not yet, anyway. Did your machine do this?
Probably.
But the bullet comes through at full speed. Someone had to have fired it, right?
Hell if I know. My box only looks into the past. If the bullet really did come from a timepiece activation, it would have been fired from the future, relative to last Friday. Plus, Barlow's death caused changes in the timeline. There's no way to know when the original bullet is from, or what circumstances led to its being fired.
You're saying that we've got no idea?
As far as the fantastically theoretical scientific principles I've been flying by the seat of my pants with for the past 2 years, yes. I mean, we know where, because the timepiece doesn't move anything in space, but that's all I could really tell you. Anything else is detective work. Time detective
What
work.
now?
Well, I know it isn't up to me, but I think we should try to keep whoever shoots the bullet that hits Barlow from shooting the bullet that hits Barlow, if they even still want to.
But we can't know who it was before the crime even happens.
It's certainly more difficult than your average murder.
So, that's it. We go home and hope no one commits a murder that we can't solve?
Unfortunately.
That feels so wrong. It feels like giving up. I hate this.
Also, we could probably search any staff coming close to the test site for guns.
Protocol requires all security personnel to carry a service pistol whenever they're on duty. I'm armed right now.
Aren't you breaking half a dozen rules just by being here?
You're right, but I'm certainly not going to be the one to shoot Dr. Barlow.
No guns means Barlow can't get shot.
Something that already happened.
Well, if you're going to insist on looking at it so linearly...
You're saying if we ban guns from the facility, it'll, what, bring him back to life?
Not a snowball's chance. But some other version of Barlow might yet survive.
But then, of course, you'd never build your time TV in response.
You see how that line of reasoning quickly spirals out of control. Look, either Barlow gets shot, or he doesn't. Either way, from our perspective, he's dead. My solution keeps him alive somewhere in space-time. No guns, no bullets, no one gets shot.
Which one's the cause and which the effect?
My problem is I keep facing them in the wrong order.
You're a tough woman to work with, Doc. My head's spinning.
Join the club.
So we found that we had no idea who shot Barlow. The bullet came out of nowhere, so all we could figure was that it came from the future. Oh, right. Note to self, new idea, time detective. Anyway, so I had been alone in the lab for a few hours after Wickman left because I had still had questions that needed answering.
So I'm under the timepiece here, and Barlow is over there, so the shot came from... Hey, what's that? Hello? You know I can hear you, right? I'm not really down for the dramatic entrance game.
It's time we had a chat, Sally.
What? Ow! June Barlow, every damn time. Who let you in here?
I let myself in.
I take it this isn't a social call.
Can I tell you what showed up on my doorstep this morning?
Milk? Old cousin? Lost puppy? Some fourth thing before you inevitably tell me anyway?
It was a letter and a package. The letter, straight from the director's desk, informed me I would have 48 hours to vacate my home here in Polvo. Without Quentin, evidently, I have no right to continue living here. No one said a single word to my face. The doorbell rang, and that was that. The package contained keys to a new house, $300, and all the papers I could ever need, preparing me for my new life.
Your new life?
They're making me take on a new identity. It's for my protection. No one really ever does leave Polvo. They take severance seriously here. I'm now Alice Hayworth of Carlsbad, New Mexico. Have you ever been to Carlsbad, Sally?
I can't say that I have.
Neither have I. I'm sure it's a lovely town. Alice Hayworth loves it there, but I'm not so sure about myself.
I don't know where you're going with this. What does this have to do with me?
You? You killed my husband. You killed the man I shared the 2 happiest years of my life with, and now your operation is taking away my own name.
Okay, hold on just a second. 1, I didn't kill your husband, not by a long shot. And 2, please don't ever think that Odar is my operation.
Don't lie to me, Sally, please. There was no one else in the room. You shot my husband in cold blood, and now I'm being sent away to cover up your crimes.
No, that wasn't how it went down at all.
It's not? Then what was going on, Sally? What, were you sleeping with him?
Whoa, not even. June, you need to calm down.
What are you doing here, Sally? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm just another face in the crowd to you.
No, you're June. You're part of the town.
Say anything. Say one thing you know about me. Hell, say something about Quentin.
Well, you made great mushroom canapes at the 4th of July party.
You shut the fuck up right now. Is that what you think of me? You define me by the food I make? I don't even cook that often. You think I'm some disposable housewife. You don't care about people like me.
June, I don't think like that. I'm so sorry about what happened to Quentin, but I wasn't sleeping with him, and I certainly didn't kill him.
You can lie all you want, Sally. It doesn't matter what you say, because you are going to make this right.
That's fine. I can talk to Donovan. I'm sure we'll be able to work things out. You won't have to change your identity. You can stay in Polvo, close to your husband.
No. We're gonna fix this. You and me, here and now. With your time machine.
No, why would you? That's not a... What are you talking about? That's not a... What?
You really do think I'm stupid, don't you? I know what Quentin was working on. I was married to the man. I know what this thing is supposed to do. You call it the timepiece, I call it a Wells knockoff.
Come on, that's not fair. His machine went in the other direction.
They went back at the end, okay? Just shut up. And you're going to take this machine, and you're going to go back to last week, and you're going to fix what you broke.
I can't just take a jaunty little ride to last week. The timepiece is barely operational. Hell, it was broken when Quentin...
When Quentin what?
I don't know if living tissue can make it through the process as it currently stands. And even if I did go back, I don't know if I'd be able to stop whatever happened.
Well, you were there, you tell me.
That's what I'm saying. I was literally there. Who knows what would happen if 2 of me were in the same place at the same time? Here, look. See, this is your husband right before he died. This machine shows you the past. He's right there, and I'm right there, working under the prototype. How the hell could I have shot him?
How is that? Even if you didn't, you're responsible for fixing it.
I'm sorry, June, but I can't do that.
Can't or won't?
Either. Both.
I guess if coercion doesn't work, then threats of violence might.
June, don't. Please, just put that away. You're going to
turn on the machine. You're going to take us back to last week, and you and I are both going to save my husband. Or I could shoot you dead right here, right now. It's your choice.
Let's step away from the machine, put down the gun, and talk about this for a second. You don't know what you're doing.
I swear to God, you send us back there right now, or I will put a round in your chest.
Listen, what happened is what happened. How can you live when the past is just as uncertain as the future? I'm no more an arbiter of life and death than you.
But you are! You've built this thing that promises to fix what once was broken, and you just let it sit there? Too afraid to do anything with that power because you're afraid that one day you might regret it? You've got causality in the palm of your hand, and you're flaunting your mastery over it every second that you spend with your theories and papers.
I think the word you meant was flouting.
Why can't you take this seriously?
Oh, no. Oh, man, I'm gonna be sick.
I just shot you. I just shot you. Where did the bullet go?
Watch the monitor.
What? But that isn't... It's not... I can't.
Seconds too late, Officer Wickman.
I can't.
Or right on time, depending on how you look at it.
What happened in here?
Remember when we were talking earlier about causes and effects?
How do you mean?
She did it. She shot her own husband.
What? How did she even get this in here?
She just wanted her husband back. And now she's why he's gone in the first place.
It's hubris.
No. Hubris is for kings. The rest of us just get cruel irony. It's a common misconception that in moments of extreme stress, time slows down. It's true that your amygdala triggers a response from your hypothalamus, causing a rush of epinephrine from your adrenal gland, but that's been shown to be something of an illusion. You only experience the event as slower through the foggy haze of memory. But I watched June Barlow's gun fire the bullet that I had spent days searching for. I vividly remember the slug spin out of the barrel as the gunpowder explosion propelled it directly at my face. And for a brief moment, I forgot about the timepiece, about Quentin Barlow and Polvo and 1945, and I felt fear. And as the ambient Higgs inhibitor field that the tap used pulled the bullet away into last week, the fear dissipated and turned into a pit in my gut. Left me helpless, but to watch the tragedy that I thought I had been trying to prevent, not prove. But it saved my life. I just can't believe this is the first time someone has tried to kill me for being a smartass. By all estimation, it's an event loop now. Quentin is shot by June's bullet. I invent the tap, setting up the conditions for the grieving widow Barlow to come in and cause her own undoing. But after all of that, there's still one thing I'm not sure about. Who fired the first bullet? I get that June makes the situation recursive, but the first bullet had no reason to be there. There was some timeline where Barlow didn't die a week ago, and the round came from somewhere else. Somewhen else, sorry. But I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think we'll get that version. Well, that's gonna bother me forever.
Excuse me, Dr. Barlow.
Officer Wickman, how can I help you?
I'm real sorry about this, Quentin, but I'm gonna need to ask you a few questions.
Ask away.
Well, they're a little personal.
What do you mean personal?
Dr. Barlow, what was the name of the first girl you ever kissed?
June. You know June.
No, I don't mean... Well, you know. I'm talking first grade stuff. Just the name.
I don't know what you're insinuating, but I've never had anything with anyone other than her.
That's fine. I just need to ask some questions.
If you want an itemized list of every girl I've ever walked home...
When you were a kid, which kid did you hate the most in your school?
Which kid did what?
You know. The guy you hated in your class more than anything else. Hated his guts. The source of the grudge was long forgotten. He threw you under the bus, or maybe you threw him. Doesn't matter. Everything he says and does is just vile.
Are you asking about my childhood feuds?
Who is that for you? It's fine. Everyone's got one. Just spit it out. You don't need to hesitate.
Darren Little. Man, I haven't thought about how much I hate that kid in decades. He was in my class with me back in, what, 3rd grade? He was a terrible kid. Used to try to trip me whenever I walked past his seat. Man, I really wish ill on a 9-year-old.
And what school were you attending when you knew Darren? Shouldn't be too difficult. You must remember the name of your elementary school, right?
Let me think. The name of it was,
I figured. When I was reassigned to Polvo, I thought it would be time to update everyone's security clearance. Then I got to you.
Look, I don't know what you're getting at.
Quentin Barlow doesn't exist. I've got to hand it to you. This kind of work is special. You got tax forms, academic transcripts. Your CV was thorough to a fault. But papers don't make the person. You didn't exist before 1943.
I told you people when I got the job here. There was a fire. My childhood home.
Oh, yeah. I made sure to check that. There wasn't a single house fire matching the description you gave anywhere in the Evanston, Illinois area. And I looked around at all the schools you claimed to have attended. No record of any Quentin Barlows. I even tracked every Barlow and every Quentin I could find, just to make sure. You underestimated my thoroughness. You underestimated our thoroughness. Was the wife a plant too?
No, June is real. Wickman, you need to listen to me very carefully. This isn't what it looks like.
It looks to me like you're a spy.
Hey, no need to get crazy about this, okay?
Who are you with? The Japs? The Krauts? Or have the Russians turned on us already?
I'm not with any of them. I'm with you. Officer Wickman, please, you have to believe me. Okay, I lied to you about my past, about where I'm from, but I swear to God and Jesus and all the nonsense upstairs that I am not working for anybody else. I am an Odar man through and through. I'm on your side.
I believe you.
You do? Really?
You sound sincere. I've got a sense for these things.
Oh, thank you.
But I've also got my orders. 1 of 2 rounds. At this range, getting sloppy, Chet.
Ars Paradoxica is created by Daniel Manning and Misha Stanton. Episode 4, Bullet, features Kristen DiMercurio as Sally Grissom, with Ren Beeler, Robin Gabrielli, and Katie Speed. And additional vocal talent provided by Lee Satterwhite, Hannah Trobaugh, Isabel Atkinson, and Jeff Pichter. Visit our website, arsparadoxica.com. Email us at arsparadoxica@gmail.com. And find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. If it's Ars Paradoxica, it's probably us. Previously on Ars Paradoxica.
My name is Sally Grissom, and I think I accidentally invented time travel.
We are rapidly approaching the town of Polvo, New Mexico.
And how long will I be kept there?
Win the war for us, and then we'll talk.
So this is the first trial of the Tachyon Activity Projector, the TAP.
You built a window through time out of a television?
Quentin is shot by June's bullet. I invent the TAP, setting up the conditions for the grieving widow Barlow to come in and cause her own undoing.
This isn't what it looks like.
It looks to me like you're a spy.
If you're looking for a good reason to change the future, you're plumb out of luck. It's already happened.
Diary, Sally Grissom, December 21st, 1945. And time is, 12:26. That can't be right. I need to reset my watch. I guess that it's about 9:15. I'm in the maintenance room. There was a backup power supply here, but it hasn't been recharged in I don't know how many weeks, so the timepiece could only hurl me back a few hours. Unfortunately, not until after everything was in boxes. The timepiece doesn't move your position relative to Earth, so now I'm locked in a broom closet. Everyone else is at the Christmas party. They don't know that they've been fired yet, and they definitely don't know that the town is going to burn to the ground in about 2 hours. And I'm supposed to be trying to fix it by now, but I am stuck in this stupid closet. As long as I'm here, I might as well go through the catastrophe we're trying to avoid. It started at the party a couple hours ago. Or maybe not. Victor Lambert was explaining to me.
Project Rainbow is supposed to bend light, you know? We thought if you could bend the light that goes around the ship, you wouldn't make it disappear from view, right? But after the Aldridge, after Philadelphia, hey, we had to give up the dream. So maybe we couldn't make the ship invisible, but we still had all this really good research. We figured, what if we bent the light into a container? You know, take it for ourselves. Rainbow took 1 step back, but 2 steps to the side. We worked our original designs into a system to harness the power of the sun. But Ivan and I bit off more than we could chew trying to capture and store every photon in a given area. The challenge wasn't taking in all the energy, you see. It's holding on to it until you need it. People need their electricity all day, and studies have proven that solar energy collection rates drop to 0 at night. Smart Alec.
Quiet, he's not wrong.
So we put in this big loop of wires that go around town, a massive network of copper. Remember a couple of years ago, there was that week where everything tasted like pennies? We were installing it.
And you didn't feel like you had to tell us.
Are you unhappy with your free, unlimited electricity?
Well, I guess not.
The network is maintained by 2 solar collectors, one at either end of town. Since we installed the system, I've been at one, while Ivan manages the other. Each one takes in sunlight during the day and stores it as an electrical charge in these massive cells. At night, the cells slowly discharge and electricity trickles into your homes. And you didn't even see it happen.
Of course, if he had known that Ivan Marichek would storm away from his station the minute everyone lost their jobs, that Ivan wouldn't be around to do anything when an imbalance in the system caused the stored energy to build to critical levels, he'd probably have said all that with a little more urgency and a little less exposition.
Excuse me, everyone. Can I have your attention, please?
Settle down. Settle down, everyone.
Thank you. Hello. Sorry to interrupt the party, everyone. My plane encountered a spot of bad weather headed this way. My name is Agent Hank Cornish. I'm with the Central Intelligence Group. I'm here to thank you on behalf of the President and the American people for all the work you've done here in Polvo these past few years. The men and women in this room have made innumerable strides for science and technology, and you all personally helped keep America safe. So I want to thank you. Yes, thank you. And it is on that high note that we'll be shutting down operations of the Office of Developed Anomalous Resources effective immediately, and starting January 1st, the assets here will be absorbed into the Central Intelligence Group.
Wait a minute. What's going to happen to the town?
The State Department has set aside some funds for severance and relocation costs. Now, you're all very important to us, and we value all the work you've done, so we got you taken care of. Now, the town itself and what you found in it when you moved here are property of the United States government and will be seized, as well as any active project resources.
Did he say project resources?
I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to take up a ton of your time. Have a great party, everybody. Merry Christmas!
What is this supposed to mean?
It means that we're done.
So that's it? We're all fired?
It means there's no one to fire us.
Well, what are we supposed to do?
Start looking for new positions. I'm sure you can get a good reference from whoever we're supposed to be officially.
And that's just it?
That's it. We're dead in the water.
I don't know about you all, but I came here for a Christmas party. And I have resolved to wait until this glass is empty to think about whatever's next.
I have been meaning to drink a bottle of absinthe. I received a year ago.
But absinthe is illegal.
Not in Spain. A colleague snuck it across the Atlantic for me.
How many of your colleagues moonlight as booze smugglers from war-torn Europe?
Esther, there was a time when all of us were moonlighting as booze smugglers from war-torn Europe. But times change.
Oh, please, Esther. He bought it in Canada. Smuggled it out of war-torn Manitoba. It's moonshine with green food coloring.
That does sound suitably depressing.
Absinthe is a liquor best paired with sorrow.
Who said that?
Nathaniel Hawthorne, I believe.
Do you? Do you think Hawthorne said that?
No idea. Never read Hawthorne. But I'd like to think he said it.
Do we drink to forget, or do we remember so that we have something we can lose when we drink?
You're already drunk.
Am I? I should live it up now that I'm the newest face in the bread line.
Do me a favor, Hooverville. Go get another bottle from the supply closet.
Yes, Captain. Away!
Wow. It's getting pretty bad out there.
All the better to drown our sorrows.
So where will you go?
I'm not sure. Someplace green, I think. I'm done with the flat brown sand. I'd like to live somewhere with hills, covered in trees. And I think it'd be good for us to settle down. Living here is so stressful. I think a calm little life is just the ticket for us now.
Sounds nice.
But they said all resources. Has anyone mentioned what that means for you?
Not yet, but I've put in 2 years here, behaved for the most part. I think I can make them see reason.
And what if you can't?
Then fuck them.
Oh, well. Okay. Cheers to that, then.
Me, I imagine I'll take the work I've done here and continue. Things I've done will change the world. I'll sell the patents, make a whole lot of money, and just live a little bit easier.
Don't be too sure.
Dr. Grissom, I found this bottle. Is that okay?
Excellent work, my friend.
Do you want me to put that on the drinks table for you?
Why? This one's for me. There it is again. Wow, that's some heavy thunder.
I wouldn't worry.
Yeah, look, don't worry. We're just out of a job. Can't tell anyone what we've been doing. Tossed back out into the world like a mackerel caught in a tuna net.
Okay, Jack. I think maybe you've had enough. I'm gonna set him down somewhere and try to find a restroom. Excuse me.
I am the science, you know, my blood alcohol content is probably...
Where would I go? That is, if they let me go. And on 3. Hey, Lambert, you're the power guy. Any ideas?
I don't know. I should be off for the... Ivan. Christ, he must be devastated.
What do you mean?
Well, he and I have known each other for years. I brought him into Polvo myself, but he has a bad habit of getting run out of any place he went. Polvo was sort of the last chance to get it right, and now... That can't be good.
What was that?
My best guess is that something at Ivan's station failed, and there's a dangerous electricity buildup that's causing the rainbow generator to overload.
Pretty specific guess.
What can I say? I made the system. I'm pretty familiar with how it operates. And there it is, right on time.
Oh my god, we're gonna die here. I can see it. I've seen it.
We're not gonna die here. Keep your boots on.
Lambert, what's the timeline here?
Not long. About 30 minutes until critical. Another hour or so until the Eldridge effect tears the town apart.
The Eldridge effect?
It was before you got here. The Philadelphia experiment went to pot after the rainbow generator stopped bending light, but the fabric of space-time itself... Luckily, it only ran for a second, but... Sally! Hey, Sally, where are you going?
So I ran outside to see what had really happened. There was a strange glow coming from the very edge of town where Lambert had said the station was. If the event like the one that brought me here ever occurred again, it could ruin everything I created. Hell, it might even ruin my first jump from 20 and transport me here instead of the Eldridge. And I'll have to deal with another one of me sitting among the ruins of the base. I'm not sure if I could handle another one of me around. I mean, different from now, since I'm the one... Never mind. I ran back into the labs and grabbed the timepiece. I figured if I could go back and stop the explosion before whatever reaction hit critical mass, it would all be over. But I admit, I hesitated. When I was alone with it, I don't know, I just felt this urge to run. Just pack up everything, the timepiece, all my notes, and get as far away as I could. But as I took the tarp off the device, I heard the voice of June Barlow. In front of the machine, gun pointed at my head.
You've built this thing that promises to fix what once was broken, and you just let it sit there? Too afraid to do anything with that power because you're afraid that one day you might regret it?
I don't know if it was the drink or the adrenaline, but I looked at the timepiece and I knew that I could, in fact, save everyone. If not everyone, then at least my friends in Polvo. So I set it down, began to start it up, and remembered that the power in the lab was dead. Obviously. Fortunately, there was this little backup supply. I grabbed that and came to this closet to make sure no one would be able to see me when I arrived in the past. That's pretty much where you came in. I want to believe that just some kind of miracle will get me out of here. That, or I do the difficult thing and pound on the walls until somebody probably talking to me right now can...
Dr. Grissom?
Wyatt? Oh, good.
Did you use the timepiece?
How? Why would you think that?
Well, you're standing in a closet that was locked from the outside. You're soaking wet, and it isn't raining outside. And also, we built a time machine, and I might be drunk, but I am not an idiot.
Oh, I remember that thunder. What time is it?
Don't you have a watch or something like a... Oh, right, yeah, okay. It is 9:38.
Only about 2.5 hours.
You left just after midnight?
12 on the dial, actually. I didn't exactly plan on it, but it sure does make the math easy.
You didn't plan this? So when you asked me to go get a bottle, you didn't plan on me finding you?
Wait, when did I? The bottle! Ha! I'm a genius! Past Sally for the win!
Did you just give yourself, like, a high five?
A girl's gotta stay positive when the town's about to blow up. Oh, right! I forgot to tell you! The town's about to blow up.
Why did you not lead with that?
Listen, you need to help me with this. The town's in danger, and we have a time limit and some clear goals, so you've got to walk yourself out of your green moonshine stupor and get with me here.
Okay, all right, okay. I've got it. I'm on it. What do you need from me?
Let me think. Is Lambert still at the party?
As far as I know, he's in there with everyone. And you, we all just found out we were fired. Wait, did that happen to you too, right?
Unfortunately.
Any idea why?
No, I'm from like 3 hours ahead of you. Come on, man, focus. One of the rainbow solar collectors is going to overload, and it's going to set off a chain reaction to...
Destroy the town?
That's the one. Oh, and it'll ruin the timepiece and possibly tear space-time a new one.
The stakes are pretty high, huh?
C'est la vie. So you need to help me get out of the building, then warn Lambert. I'll try to get to the other station to see if I can stop this whole thing from blowing its lid. Sound good?
Can I just ask, why are we even saving this town? I don't even like it. I don't even work here anymore.
You could try mounting a full-scale evacuation of Polvo in half an hour. Or maybe you'd just rather let thousands of people die.
Yeah, okay, fine. So we're going to go fix the broken science thing?
Or die trying.
Not a great set of choices.
Not really, no. This is the tricky part. If anyone sees us, we'll have to...
Jack, there you are. And hello, Sally.
Helen, so great to see you.
I just left you in the other room, I swear.
No, I went to the bathroom.
Aren't the restrooms in the other direction?
There's a mostly unused one that way. I like the privacy.
And you have the handsome Jack Wyatt to accompany you.
I rented, we're coming back. She just went to find it.
Don't worry, you're not breaking any laws walking down a hallway together. I'm going to go look for Sally's mythical private restroom. I hope it's as nice as you say it is. Most ladies' restrooms in this place are an afterthought.
It's not really anything to...
Well, enjoy your time anyway. Have fun tonight. This may be your last chance. But I think you two already figured that out.
That was weird.
A secret bathroom tryst?
I just want to get out of here. Grab Lambert and tell him that the power station needs attention. When you're out of the party, brief him on the rest. I'm going to make my way to Marichek's station and see what I can do from that end.
And you're taking the timepiece with you?
I might need it again. Besides, you can't just leave 2 time machines around the same place. Someone might get ideas to make duplicates. Come on. I'm on my way to Rainbow A, the station where Marichek works. So he and Lambert, they were researchers, and now they're, what, glorified caretakers? Maybe getting out of the military-industrial complex now is a good idea. I'd be free of hassles like this. I could disappear tomorrow. I could vanish. I'm in a time where it's easy to fake a new identity. Sally Grissom no more. Well, at least I know what's going to cause Rainbow A to fail. One of the high antennae on the station just got hit by lightning. It's 10:04, for the record. If this thing's collecting energy, it probably just got more than it could handle in one punch. Lambert said something about a release lever, one that would shut off the entire station and discharge any excess power to the ground. But it might explode by the time I'm in there. It's getting pretty late, so if you're listening to this, I'm dead. Or maybe I'm alive and you're just listening to this recording. Either way, see you on the other side. Hello? Marichek? Anybody home? All right. What am I doing here? This thing sounds like a dying animal. At least it's being used for something noble, in theory. Noble and deadly. Like argon. The failsafe control should be right over here. I've got about, a half hour. That's plenty of time. You've got this, Sally. Excellent. Day saved. Cool. Huh. They're probably going to box this stuff up in the morning. Maybe I can just sneak a look. Amazing! It would absolutely crush solar tech from my time. I wonder why this never got developed. If I was Odar, I'd put this on the market as soon as possible. My time should have had this. I wonder what happened. Whoa! It's okay. It's okay. Calm down.
Where
I'm
did you?
here to help.
How did you?
Shh. Catch your breath. Let me talk. You're Ivan Marichek, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You're who I've been looking for. Marichek, what time is it?
9:15. You're wearing a watch.
Okay, Marichek. In about 50 minutes, this building is going to get struck by lightning.
How could you possibly know?
This building is going to get struck by lightning, and I'm going to need you to stay here.
That sounds like it might be dangerous.
Stay with me, Marichek. Stand just outside if you really want, but you need to stay here for when things go bottoms up. No matter what happens, no matter if you lose your job.
I'm going to lose my job?
What? No. Well, yes. Whoops. Sorry, I ruined the surprise by like 15 minutes.
I've seen you in Polvo, but I don't know why you're here. How do you know all this? What are you doing here?
I'd rather not have to explain all of this again, but since you're doing me a favor and I can spare a minute, let me catch you up. It all started when... And then there was this explosion outside, and I ran out there, and I could see the fire clear across town. I jumped in my car and drove there as fast as I could, but Rainbow B burned to the ground. I think Wyatt and Lambert were in there.
What? Victor? No, I've known him the better part of a decade. He pulled me out of... No, you're wrong. That can't be true.
It isn't. Not if I can do anything about it.
I have to get to him. I can save him.
You have to stay right here. If you leave, then Rainbow A is screwed too. You have to be here when the lightning strikes the station, or we're all doomed, etc. I'm gonna fix this.
Where are you going to go?
Ever heard the phrase, where there's smoke, there's fire? I'm gonna go beat the smoke to the punch.
No, I've never heard this phrase. What are you talking...
Lambert! What the hell happened here?
I'm not gonna let them get away with this anymore!
What are you doing? What happened to Wyatt?
He got in the way.
You did this to him?
Odar's been in my head long enough. I'm done with this town and everyone in it.
Wyatt? Jack, can you hear me? I think he's
I
really
can't
hurt.
leave with the fruits of my labor, then no one can.
What did he say to you?
All Sally needs is for us to make sure nothing awful happens over here.
Well, in that case, I should pick up as many of my old patents as I can before I get out of here.
You know they're never going to let you keep those, right?
The hell they will. I've had my nose on the grindstone for years at this place. I'm gonna take my plans and I'm gonna go somewhere they'll appreciate it. General Electric, I'm thinking.
Victor, that's not how Odar works, and you know it. They're shutting down this town and everything in it. They'll bury your patents and they'll bury you. You think Donovan won't notice when GE just happens to independently invent something that only exists in a triple dog dare super secret science base? They'll be on you before you can say, "Let there be light."
No, I can fight it.
So you're gonna fight the part of the U.S. government that can hire thousands of people, ship them out of the desert, keep it a secret for 4 years, and then fire them without a word. That's who you're gonna fight.
You're right. They're never gonna let me keep it. Well, with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
You're just gonna smash it? No, that's not how that works. You can't just...
This machine is my greatest achievement. I won't have it shipped off to some dusty old warehouse until Uncle Sam needs it for another war.
It's not like that. Think of all the good this thing can do. What it would do if it got outside these walls.
Rainbow will never do good outside these walls. It will never get outside these walls.
But you're getting out. You're being granted a reprieve from this. Some of us should be so lucky.
There's nothing out there for me, okay? Odar has made sure of that. Oh, sure. They'll set me up as some tenured professor at some Tom, Dick, and Harry university. But they'll make sure and see to it that I'm not involved in anything of note, ever again. This is it. This machine is my contribution to science. And it'll disappear. Disappear without so much as my name on it.
Listen, we need to get Wyatt to a doctor. He's unconscious, and you really aren't supposed to let that happen.
Let him bleed out on the floor for all I care. Get him to the hospital if you must, but I'm gonna tear out every last screw and bolt of this machine, and then I'm gonna burn all of the plans.
You're going to kill everyone here and yourself.
So let it happen. I got nothing left to stay for. Ow! Oh, really?
This was good work you did tonight, Sally. I'm proud that you got the timepiece up and running in a pinch, even though you'll never hear me say that again. And I have heard nothing about some sort of alleged unauthorized use of ODAR materials by a former employee.
I couldn't possibly comment on something like that. It sounds positively treasonous.
I'll have you know that I'm not letting the timepiece die. I'm working on something, and there's a spot there for you, should you be interested. But otherwise, you're free to leave, as much as anyone in your position could be. You've been locked away in a tower too long. Agent Cornish asked me to escort you to him. He's here to discuss your options.
I'll be honest. After this week, I'm not sure if I want my job back. Or a new job. And not from you, to be a little rude. You hit the nail on the head with the tower metaphor. Wyatt's still recovering. This place destroys people.
It does. But your best chance of doing something truly amazing is here. What else is out there for you?
I can figure out my own path. And I don't want anyone named Agent telling me what I can and can't do.
It would be good to hear what he has to say. Agent Cornish is more interesting than you think.
I appreciate your offer. And I'll have to...
There you are. We've been waiting.
Is that?
Sally.
Sally! Dr. Grissom, you're awake.
What time is it? I need to get back to the lab.
No, it's over. You stopped Victor, the power stations are fine. I just left Jack a couple rooms down. He looks pretty shaken.
What are you talking about?
You know, when you drove like a madwoman, putting out fires, trying to stop Victor from destroying the town? It was like you were in 8 places at once. Very impressive.
I didn't... When did I do that?
Sally? Honey? What day is it today?
It's, my head. It's Friday, right?
It's Monday. Christmas Eve. You've been out cold ever since you saved the town the night of the party.
I saved the town?
You must have lost the memory from fatigue and stress. But you saved us, even though we all got fired.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Let me talk to Donovan. I can work something out.
Sally, take it easy. It's okay. It's not anything you did. They're shutting down the town. But it'll be okay. Donovan is moving our team elsewhere. Colorado, I think. You, me, Jack. I think they even got Dr. Partridge, too. We'll all be okay.
I saved the town and my job, and I don't even have the common courtesy to remember it? Figures.
She's awake.
And how is she?
Within expected parameters. Lost the entirety of the last 2 days. Lucky for us. The one that made it to Lambert was getting defiant. The one that made it to Marichek seemed to be going in the same direction.
Well, you'd think. Which one did you keep?
Doesn't matter. There's only one Sally Grissom. But take a look at her autopsy report. Brain lesions, nerve damage. Her symptoms look just like yours.
I don't have all the time in the world. Figure it out.
Ars Paradoxica is created by Daniel Manning and Misha Stanton. Episode 5, Midnight, features Kristen DiMercurio as Sally Grissom, with Rob Slotnick, Robin Gabrielli, Susanna Cavey, Katie Speed, and Zach Ehrlich, and additional vocal talent provided by Dan Anderson, Eric Raphael Ibarra, Julian Mundy, Isabel Atkinson, and Hannah Troba. Visit our website, arsparadoxica.com. Email us at arsparadoxica@gmail.com. And find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. If it's Ars Paradoxica, it's probably us. If you like what we've done here, please tell your friends and family. Drop us a line, write us a review on iTunes. You can find links to do those things on our support page. You'll also find links to donate to the project. It's a labor of love for everyone involved, and we want to keep making it for you. Go to arsparadoxica.com/support and help make the show a self-sustaining project. We really do depend on all of our listeners for support. Ars Paradoxica is brought to you by the internet. A magic glowing rectangle, right in your house.
Blue. Blue. 21. 22. 12. 1. 17. 13. 5. 23. 13. 19. 22. 26. 6. 2. 21. 25. 7. 2. 8. 26. 23. 23. 2. 26. 26. 23. 13. 12. 25. 1. 9. 19. 9. 12. 18. 20. 26. 8. 23. The weather in Tulsa today is thunderstorms.
Previously on Ars Paradoxica.
My name is Sally Grissom, and I think I accidentally invented time travel.
We'll be shutting down operations of the Office of Developed Anomalous Resources effective immediately.
Wait a minute. What's going to happen to the town?
It means that we're done.
I looked at the timepiece and I knew that I could, in fact, save everyone.
I'm gonna tear out every last screw and bolt of this machine, and then I'm gonna burn all of the plans.
You're going to kill everyone here and yourself.
So let it happen. I got nothing left to stay for.
I saved the town?
You must have lost the memory from fatigue and stress. But you saved us, even though we all got fired.
Which one did you keep?
Doesn't matter. There's only one Sally Grissom.
Chet, how are we doing on time?
About 45 minutes out.
So can you please tell us where in God's name we're actually going? What is this mystery site you're taking us to?
I still haven't ruled out military prison. Or execution site.
To be perfectly honest with you, Dr. Grissom, if we were going to make you all disappear, we wouldn't have driven you halfway to Canada to do it. The desert's plenty empty.
Good to know how few qualms you have about killing us.
Why would we have been taking you all to prison?
Because we got the town shut down. It was our fault. All the money and resources wasted. And now we're traitors.
We're loose ends.
Or both.
Settle down, everybody. We're taking you to the town of Point of Exile, Colorado.
Come on, Bill. That sounds made up.
Chet?
Founded 1917, elevation 7,742 feet. That's the 84th highest city in the continental U.S.
It's like having an encyclopedia.
I don't know what you want from me. They put it in the pamphlet.
The four of you were all that will be left of the Office of Developed Anomalous Resources. You four, Chet, and myself.
And the 4 jeeps full of time machine behind us.
And Mrs. Partridge.
Most days I'm just along for the ride.
I want you four to know I believe in the work you're doing. I can't tell you how much I believe in the work you're doing. But it's been decided that the United States needs a coordinated intelligence service, not this piecemeal farce we've been doing up until now.
What does that have to do with us?
No.
What?
Donovan thinks the timepiece is going to give him a leg up in the race to become the next great U.S. intelligence agency. But he's wrong. The timepiece only barely works, and by itself, it's not nearly as useful as he thinks it is.
You're right, it's not. That's why you're not working for Central Intelligence.
Then what are we doing here?
If I promise to keep it short, will you stop derailing me?
Oh, I will try my hardest, but that is asking a lot of me.
You're not working for an agency. You're working for me, directly.
So they're not even working for the government?
That's what it'll say on the pay stub, but it won't exactly be true.
Point of Exile has been designated as a Central Intelligence outpost, but your project will not officially be a part of it. Officially, you were in the wind. Your strategic service contracts have expired. Odar was no more.
You know, this really doesn't sound like it's above board.
You okay, buddy?
I'll be fine. I've managed to secure you the same access to resources you had in Polvo, and you have the same run of the place, at least for the first year or so. However long it takes the government to cut through the red tape, the pieces will fit themselves around you, and no one has to know you're not supposed to be there in the first place.
Do you really think it's worth all this?
You don't seem to understand. The work you're all doing, the machine you invented, it has been the single greatest human achievement since the light bulb, since the printing press, since gunpowder and steel and the wheel, since man discovered fire. What you are making has limitless potential to change the world. I've seen that, clear as day, and I couldn't forgive myself for letting you all give it up because of a couple of minor setbacks.
Minor setbacks? A man died.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. The setbacks were substantial. But where would the world be if Thomas Edison had given up every time he failed?
Bill, that was a lovely speech, but what about me? What am I doing here?
The predictive mechanics project is being integrated into timepiece research. Anthony, you'll be part of Sally's team.
But Anthony was your director of project development.
And now he isn't.
And you just want to throw all of that away?
Thanks, Helen, really, but I don't need you sticking your nose in like this.
Sticking my nose in? How can you let him
We'll
do
talk
this?
about this
But Donovan,
later.
why are you doing this? What do you get out of keeping the timepiece around and as a secret? We give you the greatest achievement since the light bulb to use as you please, so you can use time travel spycraft to make a mockery of due process? No, I won't have any part of this.
Listen, I know what you must think of me. A big man with a briefcase full of secrets and hidden agendas. The truth is that when Polvo was shut down, I lost more than any of you. Banished to a tiny mountain town, stripped of everything I had. I'm calling in the last few favors I had to convince them to keep me on, and to give me enough resources to keep your project running. Why? Because I will believe the work you're doing will change the world for the better. The end of the greatest war we've ever seen, and on the verge of something even bigger. I think the world needs us. And I think that if you didn't already believe me, you wouldn't have come along to begin with.
Diary of Sally Grissom, February 23rd, 1946. So I've been here a couple weeks. What kind of name is Point of Exile, anyway? I'm reading between the lines here, but the town's welcome pamphlet implies that a bunch of miners got salty about some labor dispute, drunkenly decided to vacate whatever hole in the ground they were in, and when they sobered up, they set up shop in the middle of the forest. It was their exile. Their place of point of exile. I was trying to say point of exile, because, it's the town's... You know what? Never mind. I don't know why I'm explaining this to my diary. Maybe the air is getting to me. It's much thinner than the air in New Mexico, dense as it was with desert dust. Up here, it's clearer. I feel, refreshed. Of course, that could just be generalized hypoxia setting in. We'll see. I think I'm the only one in our formerly merry band of scientists who's actually enjoying the new digs. Partridge isn't appreciating what's essentially a demotion, and after what happened at Christmas, Wyatt's heart just doesn't seem in it as much. I wouldn't know. My head's still a bit fuzzy about the whole time. I guess a brush with the great nothingness makes secret government super science seem lacking. Roberts has been running triple duty just to keep up with the gaps they leave. Poor girl. She desperately needs some time off, but I'm not sure we have any to spare.
I don't think it works that way.
Yeah, but you're suggesting we just roll over and do what the director says?
I'm saying we do what's best for the project.
When does what's best for the project interfere with what's best for us?
The four of us are the only people in the entire world who know enough to keep the timepiece. We can't just abandon it right when it's getting a second chance.
Or we could just let it go down on life support. We could get real jobs that pay money. Even if either of us failed in the private sector, any halfway decent university would be so glad to have us.
There isn't a place like this anywhere else. This is a unique opportunity. We're developing an entirely new discipline of physics. What kind of fat paycheck is worth that?
Well, considering that we can't even talk about our new discipline of physics, any credit will probably go to Dr. Grissom, or worse, Bill Donovan.
Is that what you care about? Credit?
On our pay grade, you damn betcha.
You're acting like a child.
You weren't there. You didn't have your head smashed in by an overworked, underpaid, hyper-stressed, pipe-wielding lunatic.
You're right. I wasn't there. But I'm here now. And I'm staying, and I'm going to keep doing my job. If you want to give up, that's your right. But that means it's all on me. And that means I don't have time for your pity party. We're done here.
Unlike them, I'm used to being an outsider by now. Actually, it's a lot better this time around. The people of Point of Exile are warm, welcoming folk. It turns out that Sally Grissom is a halfway decent casual acquaintance maker when she's not upending jobs because she rode into 1943 on a hoverboard. Everything is changing in America. People are optimistic about what's next. The post-war enthusiasm here is palpable. Everyone is like that sailor on V-Day, only less gross. To the people in P of E, I'm just the delightful new girl in town who does something vague with rocks and maps in that little department of the Interior Field Office. Of course, I really work for the Department of technically not even America, designing impressively convoluted systems for intelligence gathering. But does anybody really know what their neighbors do while they're at work?
You told me this was a transfer, a promotion, and now I find out that not only are you not working for the army anymore, but now you're another one of Sally's worker bees? Are you being serious?
Helen, you heard the director. He risked his neck just to get us all out here. He wouldn't have done that if he didn't need my expertise on the project. They need me here.
I need you here. We left Massachusetts for you. I put everything on hold for you. You told me about your secret project, that you had to go help end the war. And you did it. But now we fought the last war, and it's time for the soldiers to come home.
I'm not fighting, Helen. I'm not fighting wars. I'm trying to end them before they can ever start.
Do you really believe that you're going to end all war? Do you think you're smarter than all the great and terrible men through history who've claimed to do just that?
I have more capacity to do it than any of those men ever did.
Do you? Or are you just falling into the same trap they did? Caesar, Alexander, Napoleon, the Emperor, and the Kaiser, and the Führer. They all thought they were going to bring peace to the world. And they fought, and they fought, and in the end, millions died, and people are still fighting. Do you really think you're so different just because you have better tools? I saw that bomb, Anthony. And that's just the first. Now the world has seen it too. And do you think they're running away, tail between their legs? No. Now all that's changed is that everyone wants one of their own.
Listen, Helen, I love you.
I love you too.
And I need to do this. And I need you here with me.
I worry about you, Anthony. All the time. All this pressure you put on yourself. What are we even doing here in the middle of nowhere with you doing God knows what and me sitting around all day wishing that for once we could just be a normal couple who live in a normal town and have normal lives?
This is a normal town. It's a little remote, but look, it's not like it was. You don't need to be looking over your shoulder wondering if you've said too much. Well, you still can't tell anybody what I do, but that has always been true. We can be real people here, Helen. We can have a life. Things in New Mexico weren't perfect, but we can take another shot at it here. I want to do this with you, Helen. You're the only woman I've ever loved.
Our little secret.
Our little secret.
What's your cover story now?
Department of the Interior. If anyone asks, tell them it's something to do with radar and weather detection.
Do you really think we can make this work? Look into my eyes and tell me truly.
I can't predict the future, but I think we can. I know we can. We're strong.
Isn't your job supposed to be predicting the future?
All right, fair point. I can predict the future, and I predict that we're going to do pretty well.
Our supper is getting cold.
I suppose it is.
I spent almost 3 full years in the 1940s. And I've mostly bridged the culture gap. I can keep up with their keen jive, and even though my very nice Borat impression doesn't really play with them, it never really played in 20s either, so maybe that just wasn't meant to be. I've replaced the internet with radio, and real books? From a library? TV still has a few more years to get mainstream enough to be accessible. A slide rule and a pad of paper aren't quite Mat Lab. What I really miss are the little conveniences. Email, GPS, pizza at your door in 30 minutes or less. The things that won't revolutionize your life, but might make your day a little brighter. But it's not like those things don't exist in their component parts. Well, GPS satellites aren't in the sky yet, but pizza exists. And until the satellites get up there, I think I can remake a little bit of the 21st century for myself. The first step in that direction is that I am reteaching myself electronics. I ended up building this recording device that I realized was basically, well, it was just a circuit that I could strap onto a recorder that would essentially be a telephone answering machine. I mean, I'm not exactly sure when those were invented, but they probably exist somewhere. I just built one out of the things I have ready access to. I'm definitely a few years ahead of the commercial offering for this technology, but I could make one for myself, and probably make a few more to give them to friends or whatever. Something that's not going to redefine my workday, just now I can occasionally redirect missed phone calls. Of course, it's going to be pulling teeth trying to get people to figure out how to use it. I can't believe I'm going to have to teach technology to people born in the 20s twice.
You've reached Dr. Sally Grissom's Voice-O-Matic telephone message recording machine. I'm not home right now, but this device can record a short message that I'll be able to listen to later. In a few moments, I'll stop talking, and then there will be a click. After the click, leave your message. Then when you're done, hang up. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I know this is complicated, and I really appreciate your cooperation. Thanks, have a nice day!
First pass at an outgoing message might have filled up an entire spool of wire. There's a lot to unpack in there, but people aren't idiots. They can figure it out. I can't have texting, but I won't have to worry that my phone is ringing somewhere. You know, for all those people that call me, I'm sure it'll come in handy one of these days. I'll start working on texting next week. It's just a distraction, though. I've been avoiding the office a little bit. I received a report from Roberts and Wyatt on a new experiment for the timepiece, testing the viability of positive time motion. It was just Roberts who came up with the theory. The paper has both of their names on it, and she hasn't said a word to me about it yet. But I've seen them at their desks. There used to be a camaraderie between the three of us. You know, we joked, we smiled, we laughed while we worked, we sang a couple of times. But now it's just silence. The machine is supposed to work by pulling you backwards towards the Philadelphia experiment, but we're looking to see if you can use it to move forwards. If it goes well, I could figure out how to go home. It's a snowball's chance in hell, but come on. I wouldn't be dead. Well, dead to the present, at least. Or however that would work with paradoxes and San Dimas time or whatever. Is it worth going back? I wouldn't be returning to the 20s I left in the first place, I know that much. There's no way each molecule would align the same way and create the same world I left behind. Not now. I wouldn't have the same relationships with the same people, even in the best circumstances. Why would I expect those exact same bodies to even exist? The same pattern of genetics and circumstance to correspond to the people I knew. Not that I had a ton of friends back home. It's a little disheartening. But I'm afraid that Partridge and Wickman and them would judge me if I didn't make every effort to get back home. That's what I'm supposed to do, right? Go back to the... Back to the future. God damn it.
Good, because I'm practically famished.
I'll be sure to have them throw extra turkey on that club. Between you and me, I think they're a little stingy.
I appreciate that.
Don't you worry, hun. I'm Penny. Give me a holler if you need anything at all.
Yes, I'll be sure. I'll take you right up on that.
I hope you do.
Penny, could I get another cup of coffee?
Sure thing, sweetie. I'll be right back.
Nice to meet you.
Wow, kid, the sparks are flying.
What are you talking about?
That whole thing there. Come on, don't tell me you didn't see it. I'm practically famished.
I'm not seeing it.
I told the girl I wanted a sandwich.
Sure, with your mouth, but I saw it in your eyes. You fell for her. Hard.
Sally, the girl's irrelevant. I'm on my lunch break and she's at work. Not exactly the best time for a meet cute.
No, it's the perfect time. You come back later tonight, ask her when she gets off her shift.
Does she have any say in the matter?
Of course. She's totally into you. Very progressive of you, though, Wyatt. Way to buck stereotypes.
Thank you.
Here's your coffee. So, where'd y'all move in from?
New Mexico. Our company just moved us up to the mountains.
Are y'all the ones who moved into that old lumber warehouse on the edge of town?
That's us.
Well, welcome to Point of Exile.
Thank you, Penny. What's your last name?
Wise.
Well, Wise. This guy here was just raving about the excellent service we'd had from you today.
Sally, what are you doing?
In fact, he was just telling us that because of you, we're gonna make this our new lunch spot in town.
Well, gosh.
No, I didn't. I was just...
You were just what?
He was just what?
Nothing. I just appreciate good service. That is all.
Well, thanks. I do what I can. I'll be right out with your sandwich.
See?
Oh, yeah, I definitely see it now.
It's not anything. You're just putting words in my mouth. Matchmaking is more complicated than just telling two people they like each other.
So you do like her.
Haven't you ever seen Holiday? Or The Shop Around the Corner? In that one, they couldn't stand each other.
Oh, you got mail.
Exactly. You get mail, and it turns out to be from the very person you despise. All it takes is one word.
And what word is that?
Nothing.
I've got a Reuben for you.
Thank you.
Biscuits and gravy here.
Excellent. Thanks much.
And a turkey club piled high.
Oh, wow. I am not sure I could even finish this in one sitting.
Well, if you ever need an extra hand to finish that, I sure wouldn't mind. Holler if you need anything else, okay, sweetie?
Actually, I do have something.
What is it?
Would you, would you...
Yeah?
Is your name really Pennywise?
Yeah, my parents thought it'd be a real riot.
At least it's easy to remember. You're unforgettable. Hi, Jack Wyatt.
Well, Jack Wyatt, find me tonight and I'll tell you all about it over some pie. We close up around 9. Until then, Ace, I've got tables to see.
Okay, now I see it.
And Wyatt goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even like girls. And I tell him to shut his mouth and talk to her. or open his mouth, I guess. The point is that he was wrong.
Okay, check it now.
120.
Damn.
So I tell him to go pester the girl after work, and I don't even need to. She comes back with his food, and she practically picks him up. The girl, and her name is Pennywise. Get it? Pennywise? I swear to God, real name.
Sally, what are we doing here?
What do you mean? You mean right here, right now, or existentially?
Across the gamut. I think I need to recalibrate my various internal compasses.
Well, our natural body processes are pumping oxygen-rich blood to our tissues, while electrochemical signals in our brains are simulating the complex but handy illusion of consciousness and controlling the body, arms, hands, feet, legs. Your vocal cords are vibrating to push air through your mouth, shaped by your teeth and tongue, to be interpreted by my brain as language.
More generally.
We are using tools to do our jobs.
Sally! Don't be a smart aleck.
We are checking for faults in the main circuits of the applied Higgs inhibitor array, codenamed Timepiece, in preparation for a round of tests.
How about now?
123.
Damn.
And why are we doing this?
Because we work for a super top secret division of the intelligence community of the United States of America and want to make sure that it is up to snuff.
And why are we doing that for them?
Because they are incredibly powerful, because they pay us, because Donovan gave a stirring speech, and because it's the only chance to work on science literally decades ahead of its time. Take your pick.
And why do they want that?
Are they a person, object, or mineral? What's with the 20 questions?
I'm curious. Why does Donovan want the timepiece?
Are you going to get to the point?
How do we get here?
Oh, come on. You're not...
No. I mean from Polvo to Point of Exile.
We drove in a van?
No, I mean... Before you got here, I was managing a half-dozen cutting-edge research projects. After that, you became a daily thorn in my side.
And I'd hope a trusted friend and colleague.
That too, and then things started snowballing. The timepiece wrapped up, there was a trip to Las Vegas, and then Quentin's accident. And apparently you did some pretty amazing work the night of the Christmas party. I missed out on most of that, but Jack told me it was like you were in 3 places at once.
Well, that night was pretty fuzzy for me, too. Try it now.
My point is, I can't help but do the calculus and say that the timepiece hasn't brought anyone anything but trouble.
That could be true.
So why does Donovan keep putting his faith in this project? In us?
I don't really know. I know it could happen, what amazing things we could do if we ever worked out a system for using this thing effectively. But you're right. We failed plenty. More often than not, actually.
So I ask again, what are we doing here?
I want to see this machine work. I want to see it help somebody.
Wasn't that the problem? You can't see it working, it either worked or it didn't, and no one could tell, or something like that?
If you could see what changed, if you could... I don't know. Who knows what happens when you change something small? What does the meter say?
127.
Perfect. Okay, let's get this puppy fired up.
Well, 2 years ago, I was basically your boss. And today, you're definitely my boss.
Listen, Partridge, I'm not your boss. Of all the people here who could be your boss, I am the most not your boss. Partridge, the timepiece needs you. This team needs you. I need you, but not as a subordinate. I need someone who looks ahead as I look behind. The miracle of the timepiece isn't just moving backwards, it's the possibility of using it to change how we move forward. And you're the only one who can help us with it. Without you, the timepiece is stuck. Ready?
Ready. Sally, if the timepiece is successful in doing what it's doing, do you think you would go back to the future?
I don't know. But I'd rather have the option.
Diary of Sally Grissom, March 1st, 1946. Without boring you with the details, the hypothesis didn't hold up during the timepiece test. We now know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that going forward in time using the principles of the timepiece is effectively impossible. I mean, going forwards in time has always been possible, just at the rate of 1 second per second. I know the last time I did one of these, I hemmed and hawed about not wanting to go back to 20, but now that I know I can't, well, it hurts. I mean, it was a long shot to begin with, but now that we have the numbers to back it up, I can't help but feel like a petulant child who wants what she can't have. The grass is always greener, you know? The results aren't all bad. We got a better look at the tachyonic photon responses that come from using the timepiece. Improperly modulated, it would cause something like the electromagnetic pulse I saw back in my first months with Odar. But with a little tweaking, it seems like you could dictate the frequency of the pulse, like a sort of signature assigned to the specific activation of the timepiece. Of course, it only really exists at the point of origin and then travels backwards in time towards the Eldridge. So my apologies go out to the crew of the Eldridge in October 1943, who spent their trip being bombarded with an ever-growing number of tachyons. If you had something there to receive them, though, you could probably keep track of all the jumps made with the timepiece. You'd have to move the anchor point to a different listening station, or set up something to receive pings from the future when Rainbow was turned on. You might even be able to set up a system to track them. It would not come in handy, you know? What would you do if you could map the shifting sands of time?
It will go without saying that you couldn't spread that information from this room. You can't spread this from this room.
But people need to know. You're sure it's because of what you did with the timepiece?
If he wasn't there before, the timepiece accelerated it. His tenses are a mess.
You're to be thanked, Chet. I will be able to. I can talk on my own. Just give me a minute.
Why didn't you bring Sally in on this?
Sally was volatile. We're keeping this close to the vest.
Please, you have to help him. You understand that all of it was for the good of Odar, for the good of all of us. And now he's dying.
What do you want me to do?
I needed you to get the right answer. Help what's wrong with my thinking.
You're the only one we've got.
Director Bill, I will do everything I can to save you. I will get you through this, but you have to come clean to the team. At least tell Sally she deserves to know about what you did.
We talked about this, but only where you find the right answer. Next to then, don't speak to anyone. Not acceptable.
Anthony, just help him. Please.
Ars Paradoxica is created by Daniel Manning and Misha Stanton. Episode 6, Exile, features Kristen DiMercurio as Sally Grissom, with Ren Beeler, Rob Slotnick, Robin Gabrielli, Susanna Cavi, Katie Speed, and Zach Ehrlich, and additional vocal talent provided by Charlotte Mary Wen and Isabel Atkinson. Visit our website, arsparadoxica.com. Email us at arsparadoxica@gmail.com, and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud. If it's Ars Paradoxica, it's probably us. If you like what we've done here, please tell your friends and family. Drop us a line, write us a review on iTunes. And if you're feeling extra generous, we've added a support section to our website. It's a labor of love for everyone involved, and we want to keep making it for you. Go to arsparadoxica.com/support and help make Ars Paradoxica a self-sustaining project. We really do depend on all of you for support. Ars Paradoxica is brought to you by the internet, your one-stop shop to know things about stuff.
Red. 20. 18. 1. 1. 24. 4. 7. 9. 22. 10. 23. 25. 17. 3. 14. 9. 8. The weather in Tulsa today is foggy.
Okay, so this is gonna be Super Bass by Nicki Minaj. Hope you like it. Okay.
This one is for the boys with the booming system. Tap down AC with the cooling system. When he come up in the club, be blazing up. Got stacks on deck like he's saving up. And he real, he might got a deal. He pop bottles and he got the right kind of bill. He cold, he dope, he might sell coke. He's always in the air, but he never fly coach. He's a motherfucking trip, sailor on the ship. When he make a drip, kiss him on the lip. That's the kind of dude I was looking for. And yes, you get slapped if you're looking ho. I said, excuse me, you're a hell of a guy. I mean, you like pelican fly. I mean, so shy and love your tie. You like slicker than a guy with a thing on his eye. Oh, yes I did. Somebody tell him who the fire is. I ain't Nicki Minaj, but I'm backing dudes up, back coops up. Boy, you got my heartbeat running away, beating like a drum and it's coming your way. Can't you hear that boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, bass? Super bass, boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, bass. Super bass, boom, 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 boom. Entrepreneurs, and the mogos. He could ball with the crew, he could solo. But I think I like him better when he dolo. And I think I like him better with the fitted cap on. He ain't even gotta try to put the rag on. He just gotta give me that look. When he give me that look, then the panties coming off. Excuse me, you're a hell of a guy. You know I really got a thing for American guys. I mean, size, sickening that. I can tell that you're into touch with your feminine side. Oh, yes I did. Somebody tell him who that fire is. I ain't Nicki Minaj, I'm acting dudes up, back coops up. Boy, you got my heartbeat running away, beating like a drum and it's coming your way. Can't you hear that boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, bass? Can't you hear that boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, bass? Boy, you got my heartbeat running away, beating like a drum and it's coming your way. Can't you hear that boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, bass? Super bass, boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, bass. Super bass. Woo! Can't you hear that boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, bass? Super bass, boom, ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-dum, boom, bass. Super bass. Bye.
Time changed, we're different, but my mind still says redundant things. Can I not think? Will you love this part of me? My love that is the day I can't forget. Furthering my distance from you. Realistically, I can't leave now, but I'm okay as long as you keep me from going crazy. Keep me from going crazy. Straight up ahead, you'll find a sign that says you can't get by with a lie. But if I stayed away by a thread from list me straight away from hell. Me and Mr. Hart, we say the cutest things about you, how you seem unreal. We probably die so quick without you, suffocated from the radiated air around us, full of happiness. We don't have brightness, gone so dark without you, girl. Time changed, we're different, but my mind still says redundant things. Can I not think? Will you love this part of me? My lover is the day I can't forget. Furthering my distance from you. Realistically, I can't leave now, but I'm okay as long as you keep me from going crazy. Keep me from going crazy. Family calls me crazy and my friends say I'm degenerate, but you tell me I'm so generous and my self-worth isn't hideous. This psychedelic canvas of the person I'm becoming went from horror movie on TV to happy ending princess me. Processing the information transferred from your mind to me at light speed like the Falcon from the original Star Wars trilogy. Feeling like a real me when I was 6 and no worries would stop me from reaching the stars a million miles away from me. Sick in the head for you and no cure has been discovered, like a plague hitting my body, except if I fall I'm just falling for you. Not just beyond knowledge, alterations are acknowledged, and the beauty you inflicted is always in its action. Lovely day to day, perfect time to open up to you, but I know that you're having fun. Don't wanna mess this up for you, but I'm happy that you're happy. At least I do that much for you. Always glad you're with me. This emotion will be gone before you. Time changed, we're different, but my mind still says redundant things. Can I not think? Will you love this part of me? My lover is the day I can't forget. Furthering my distance from you. Realistically, I can't leave now, but I'm okay as long as you keep me from going crazy. Keep me from going crazy. Girl, time changed, we're different, but my mind still says redundant things. Can I not think? Will you love this part of me? My lover is the day I can't forget. Furthering my distance from you. Realistically, I can't leave now, but I'm okay as long as you keep me from going crazy. Keep me from going crazy.
You could use a buddy. Don't you want a pal? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Girl, the way I see it, your daddy should be leaving and you should stick around and kill him. What? Nothing. So, Lydia, don't end yourself. Defend yourself. Daddy is the one you should maim. Together we'll exterminate. Assassinate! No! The finer points can wait, but first you gotta say my name. Go ahead and jump, but that won't stop him. Here you got a solid plan B option. I can bring your daddy so much pain. All you gotta do is say my name. Girl, just say it 3 times in a row, and you won't believe how far I'll go. I'm on the bench, but coach, just put me in the game. All you gotta do is say my name.
I don't know your name.
Well, I can't say it.
How about a game of charades?
Yes, let's play it.
2 words.
Right.
Second word. Drink.
No.
Beverage.
No.
Wine.
No.
Juice.
Yes.
Okay, first word.
Okay.
Bug.
No.
Ant.
Close, but no.
Beetle.
Yes.
Beetlejuice.
Wow, I'm impressed. And all you gotta do is say my name 3 times. 3 times in a row. It must be spoken unbroken. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Beetlejuice.
Yes. Oh, this is gonna be so good. What?
You're so smart. A stand-up role. I'll think about your offer. Let you know, but I prefer my chances down below. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Being young and female doesn't mean that I'm an easy mark. I put someone with piranhas. I don't need a shark. Yes, life sucks, but not that much. Okay, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Be a doll and spare the lecture.
I'm offering you a full-time specter.
Are you any good?
You betcha. Trust me, baby.
I just met ya. Really, it's a flattering offer.
Don't you wanna see Dad suffer?
I think I'd rather just jump off.
No.
I may be suicidal, but Beetlejuice, it's not as if I lost my mind.
So, playing hardball, huh? You are tougher than you look.
Just want to make sure I know who I'm working with. Got any references? Lydia, there you are.
Are you all right?
A-Dog, B-Town, my old pal.
You get away from her, Lydia. This is a dangerously unstable individual.
Beetlejuice is sexy.
Beetlejuice is smart.
BJ is a graduate of Juilliard.
He can help. We found him on Yelp. Our troubles all ended on the day that we befriended him. Every word is the truth. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
What the heck was that?
So violating.
There you go, kid. Couple of 5-star reviews.
What was that?
That was possession. Any ghost can do that in less than 1 lesson.
Any ghost?
Pretty much any ghost will do, sure.
Then Beetlejuice. What do I need you for?
Whoa, hold up, girl. I'm your pal. They're sweet, but I'm a demon straight from hell. I know I went a little hard on myself, but we're BFFFFs forever.
Lydia! What? He was already dead. And you heard what he said. Any ghost can do that possession stuff. We don't need that demon. The 3 of us alone can wreck Dad's evening. Together we can make a grown man weep. Guys got a dinner date to keep.
Okay, so what's the plan?
Teach Dad a lesson. He's gonna freak when we possess him. So he wants the perfect daughter. I'll lead that lamb to slaughter. Yeah, I got game. I'm gonna make him say my name. I'll make him say my name. I'll make him say my name. Not running away. I'll make him say my name.
Till I collapse, I'm giving attacks. Promise you'll feel them till the day that I drop. You're never saying that I've given up. Coming in hot, smile is still glistening. Cause when I'm not giving it all, I'm not million. Coming to stop villains who side villains and criminal activities. You will be caught listening. Fear me or not, you will get dropped piddling. Unlimited energy, no, but it's not riddling. I was a kid and I get dropped into the river. I could have been gone, but the hero delivered. He gave me a new chance. Why would I not shimmer? I'd be the best hero, the closest to my glimmer. I'll never back down, I won't let my light flicker. I'll be the backbone for those who might wither. And cold, you might shiver, just know that
the smoke clears out and my heart perhaps I'ma rip this shit till my bone collapse. One decision, I could have been more vigilant. Should have chose you in fighting for your innocence. I could have saved it then with no middleman, but now I know the truth and pain is now digging in. I will fail again, I won't rest till I save her. Safe away from this mess. They have trained her, pain they gave her grotesque. I repay her, be her savior, my quest. When I was a child, I learned to hold strength, cause the quirk I was born with came with more weight. Had to train so hard, the focus so great, and that's how I know this road was my fate. Overhaul, take my quirk, I won't shake. A hero stays and owns his mistakes. A hero's place is raised to these stakes. I will fight to the death, cause heroes don't break. Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth. Till the smoke clears out and my heart perhaps I'ma rip this shit till my bone collapse. Till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth. Till the smoke clears out and my heart perhaps I'ma rip this shit till my bone collapse. Days gone by, the west coast waves crash up against the shore of a beach I haven't been to, or at least can't remember no more. My love and constitutions, they only get me so far. It doesn't take but one look up to know how hard it is to reach the stars, and I felt my share of loneliness, still feel it now. From time to time I try to get some rest. These issues tend to fade with morning light, but even if my darkness has decided where it stays, I suppose that I will close my eyes and try to find another way. Is it love that keeps me planted here, or the fear that something new will come along if I leave? Either way, I don't know what to do. I've tried my best to figure out those pieces that I lack. Now I feel all that I've lost pulling me back. Oh yes, I feel all that I've lost pulling me back. Seashells on the east coast, find them buried in the sand of a beach I haven't been to, but you said you hope one day I can. All the inspirations you've amounted in your life, they find their way right back to me through quotes and colors that you live by. And is it through the regrets or achievements in your life that you manifest the compass that will try to steer me in the right direction? Is a funny thing when tides and currents change. It's a burden that I carry, one you've carried all the same. Just a number cycling through everything, finding what escaped you in those days. And it isn't that I want to live the life you never did, it's just for my sake I will learn from your mistakes. Oh yes, for my sake I will learn from your mistakes.
I hardly think I'm qualified to come across all sanctified. I just don't cut it with the cherubim.
Julia, what are you talking about? They're again, they're on their knees. Being worshipped is a breeze, which rather suits us in the interim.
The interim between them. Oh my God!
It's tough to be a god.
Tread where mortals have not trod. Be deified when really you're a sham. Be an object of devotion. Be the subject of songs.
It's a rather touching notion, all those prayers and those salams.
Exactly. And who am I to bridle if I'm forced to be an idol? If they say that I'm a god, that's what I am. What's more, if we don't comply with the locals' wishes, I can see us being sacrificed or stuffed.
You have a point, that's very good thinking. So, let's be gods! The perks are great!
Yeah! El Dorado on our plate.
Thank you. Local feeling should not be rebuffed.
Never rebuffed and never rebuff the local feeling. No, my friend! It's tough to be a god, but if you get the people's nod, count your blessings, keep them sweet, that's our advice. It's great advice! Be a symbol of perfection, be a legend, be a cult. Take their praise, take the collection as the multitudes exult.
Don a supernatural habit.
We'd be crazy not to grab it. So sign up to New Gods for Paradise. Paradise.
Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up, first shot, come strut walking. A little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious. Somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, y'all can't copy yet. Bad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music, I shed my skin and put my bones into everything I record to it. And yeah, I'm on. Let that stage light go and shine on down. Got that Bob Barker suit game and Plinko in my style. Money, stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds. But I do that to pass the torch and put on for my town. Trust me, on my INDEPENDENT shit hustling. Chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'. Halfway across that city with the back question. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country.
Here we go back, this is the moment. Tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Here we go back, this is the moment. Tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
Now, can I?
So slowly a sunlit dream pulls me out of sleep. Feel the morning through the blinds. I get to thinking about your sun-kissed face in a quiet place. I could give you all my time. You know I wanna be your rock, my love. You know I wanna be your light. In darkness, how you find me just in time to tell me what I needed to hear. So if you don't know what you need, you can leave it all to me. Don't want you worried about a thing. I know you do the same for me. 'Cause you're so lovely, you're so lovely. I can't help but fall for you, love. When you love me, it's so lovely loving you. Oh, oh, so lovely loving you. Oh, slowly a tender breeze brush against my knees on a summer afternoon. I get to thinking about the hazy days under August shade that I used to spend with you. I didn't realize it was all I wanted. What I had, my riddled heart, I had to cradle back together just to see. It's all like magic to me. You do magic, baby, when you love me. You're so lovely, I can't help but fall for you, love. When you love me, it's so lovely loving you. Oh, oh, so lovely loving you. Oh, oh. So slowly a sunlit dream pulls me out of sleep. Feel the morning through the blinds. I turn my head to meet your sun-kissed face. In this quiet place, I can give you all my time. Ultimately, I don't understand a thing. I try to do the best I can. I know you try to do the same. We're just so bound to make mistakes. You could call it a disposition. I apologize for all your tears. I wish I could be different, but I'm still growing up into the one you can call your love. I don't know if I'll ever be enough. I'm throwing in my chips, I guess I tend to push my luck. And ultimately I believe we'll be okay. It's so cliche to say these things, but repetition is a key. I think I'm better when I'm with you, but I worry when you're gone. I think I need to learn to love myself. I must learn to be strong. So for now we'll say goodbye. Although it pains me in my heart, your words, they come to me in memories. They sing to me like songs. It won't be long until I'm here. Soon I'll make my arrival under shady trees, a quiet street, the roads that I have traveled. Ultimately it's a beautiful thing, like flowers blooming in a lonely field. The petals drift through crossing winds that find their way to river streams that scent the water beautifully. It takes me back to you, it takes me back to you. Silence my phone, I keep my sins on the low. I like to do it alone, but I'm lonely. I just be taking my time, only do it if it feels right. But I'm feeling like I go too slowly. I never seem to have a grasp on these things. You know I wanna believe, but I just can't see how. I wanna know just how far I can go. Every direction seems to stretch out to no end. No, I could wait for all my life and never feel the time was right. Might break or bend, but some things you have to pursue. I'll make it all come true. I'll make it all come true. I'll make it all come true. I've got way too many thoughts running inside my head, but they will probably still be there until I'm dead. If I choose your way, I may lose my faith. I may be too too late, no more time to waste. I may break or bend, but some things you have to pursue. I'll make it all come true. I'll make it all come true. I'll make it all come true. I fall apart, I lose myself. I take some time, it can't be helped. I hold my own all by myself. I keep my pride and nothing else. I fall apart, I lose myself. I take some time, it can't be helped. I hold my own all by myself. I keep my pride and nothing else. I'll make it all come true. 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 And did I ever get to tell you what you meant to me? And did you know that you were always like a fantasy? And are you off to see the places that were in your dreams? Yeah, will you ever find yourself inside a fantasy? And did you ever find the love in you found in me? And will I ever get the chance to be your fantasy? And will I see you down the road wherever that may be? Well, if I do, I'll tell you that you were my fantasy. I suppose it's nice to know that there's so much left to go. But as seasons start to change, my feelings may start to fade. But I'll never forget, oh, the ease you put me in. Oh, the sun will start to set as the leaves rise in the wind. And amidst the sea of red, I'll think of the words you said. Oh, and it's hardest in the snow, wondering which way to go. Though the spring will come with time, I have lost this love of mine. If it all just ends today,